Hey, what is up, awesome people? Shady Wags with Got Your Back Gaming, and I'm excited to bring you this guide on Melka. I'm going to be sharing with you my build, equipment, and strategies that have led me to having some amazing games with her. Let's jump right into her character card. Has her listed as an attacker, who is agile, an assassin, and easy. I do completely agree with attacker and agile. Initially, I was not going to agree with her being assassin. An assassin would group her with the likes of Deandy, Phoebe, and Wrath, and if you played much Battleborn at all, you know those three are high DPS quick hitters. But the more I think about it, I think she's the biggest assassin out of all three. Melka can lay down the hurt, but it's not necessarily fast. Melka is the Muhammad Ali of Battleborn. She floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee, quickly moving in and out of the fight, laying down quick strikes and damage over time, and then when you see the opportunity, moving in for that kill shot. And that's why she is not easy to play. This is not a character you can sleepwalk your way through. She does not have the fastest movement speed, but she is agile, and you have to be constantly moving, using your skills at the right time, and comboing them up for damage. Let's go ahead and look at her skills. She has a passive of Venom Canister. Every time she reloads her weapon, she ejects a canister from the bottom of her pistol, which explodes into a cloud of poison. Any enemy caught in that cloud will become envenomed and begin taking damage over time for 8 seconds. This is similar to firing a noob tube in Call of Duty, and the shots can be arced to fire these things from varying distances. This is Melka's bread and butter, and most of her skills combo off of that venom, doing additional damage to enemies that are suffering from the damage over time effect. You are able to fire one bullet out of the magazine, reload, and fire a canister. And you can do this over and over. You can do it in the air and on the run. I am constantly firing these things at all times during a match. I shoot them into doorways and entrances when I'm trying to capture a point. I arc them up into capture points that are being taken or ones I know players are sitting on. In Incursion maps, shooting them into choke points. You're going to be shooting these things so much, you'll get to the point you can hit a fly on the side of a wall at 100 yards. Her primary weapon is her machine pistol. It has a high rate of fire and quick reload speed, and the description is spot on, stating medium range. That is where you want to be all the time with Melka. Just at arm's length, constantly picking away with this thing. Her secondary attack is melee strikes with her claw, which does extra damage to enemies that have been poisoned. She does have decent melee strikes, but there are not many characters she can stand toe-to-toe with, because she has no shield. The lack of a shield can be used as an advantage, and I'll go into that here shortly. If you sprint with Melka and hit the secondary attack, she does a power slide. This allows her to make up ground quickly and slide in, out, and around the battle. And it looks pretty awesome. Skill 1 is her claw lunge, or how I refer to this, a throat punch. She lunges forward with a strike that does additional damage to enemies which are poisoned. Her secondary skill is Spike, which is an AoE that shoots her up into the air and does direct damage to all enemies in the radius. And her ultimate is the Blade Launcher, where she fires off 3 venom-laced blades, and each one of those blades does substantial damage, and if you hit someone with all 3, they're going to be in bad shape. This is a finisher. I've tried a lot of different equipment with Melka, and this is what I found works best for me. I'm using gloves that provide an attack damage boost and a maximum health boost after 180 seconds. She already has a large health pool, and I don't find it very difficult to stay alive for 3 minutes with her. I use shoulder pads that provide damage reduction and a health regen bonus. And here is where you can take advantage of not having a shield. Any equipment that has a negative shield recharge delay stat on it does not affect Melka. So she's going to get all the perks and no drawbacks from that equipment. The last piece of equipment I'm using is a skill damage piece that also provides a bonus after hitting for critical, and you will notice that Melka does critical a lot with that machine pistol. You may want to check out my video on some of the tips for capture map equipment. On her helix, I do not deviate from this at all. I feel on most of the levels, one is good and the others are bad. At 1, I always take Claw Lunge for the slow after she lunges. The reasoning is I'm going to Claw Lunge in and then hit a melee strike and then hit a spike to get back away. Once you hit Claw Lunge, there is a very short delay before you can hit that spike. So hitting them with that 3-second slow gives me the time I need before that spike is ready to go. If a player is running away from you, you would rather have that slow on the lunge because you will not be able to get close enough to hit the spike on them. At 2, Parting Gift hands down. This is the only choice here. After you hit the spike, it leaves a pool of poison on the ground, and if anyone is caught in that poison, it begins to do additional damage over time. At 3, both of these are pretty worthless to me, but I always take Frag Canister. After firing their canister, it then shoots off 3 more smaller canisters forward. It can be useful in Incursion or Meltdown, although you're never going to aim with the intention of hitting someone with the smaller 3. Air Stall is extremely useful, because if you hit your short melee attack, it jumps you backwards. I don't take it though, because in order to power slide, you need to be sprinting and then hit that secondary attack. And there are a lot of times when I just don't hit that sprint right. And then I go to hit the secondary attack and it would jump me backwards and it just became a nuisance. I just take Frag Canister and call level 3 a wash. At 4, I take Blade Ejection, tacking on more damage to Claw Lunge. She already does reload fast. And I don't want to auto bounce backwards after using Claw Lunge. I like to have complete control of where I'm going and what I'm going to do after I use that lunge. At 5, I take Adrenaline Rush. On capture maps, you're always going to have players poisoned. You're always going to be meleeing. So it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to get the +7 health regen. I take Venom Contagion for Incursion and Meltdown. That poison's going to hit those minions. They're going to get killed. They're going to explode, hit the others, and it's just going to keep spreading. At 6, 100% take Spike Burst, increasing Parting Gift's radius. At 7, Power Spike, increasing spike damage and Parting Gift damage. At 8, Refine Canisters, so now every bullet's going to apply Venom. At 9, Finishing Blow for more lunge damage. And at 10, all of these are good. It's going to be rare you reach this point in a capture match, but if you do, I would take Blade Storm for the homing effect. Don't take that for Incursion or Meltdown, because you're going to waste those Venom Blades on a minion. For Incursion or Meltdown maps, go with one or the other. In a one-on-one situation, Melka is really good against most of the other characters. The ones she does have issues with are the tankier characters like Montana, Kelvin, or Atticus, and that's because of their hit points. If you are faced with a one-on-one with one of these guys, you definitely need the Venom Launcher. You're going to poison them, then hit that Venom Launcher. Lunge in, spike them, jump out, and start firing away, keeping distance, start backtracking, try to make it back to your teammates for help. The best advice I can give you going against these bigger guys is just avoid them. The other two that are a real threat to her because of her lack of shields is a player using Galilea with the damage field and Umbra. Galilea will not even have to touch you. As long as you're in her radius, she can just chase you around until your health is all gone and you're not fast enough to stay away from her. First, you want to make sure to hit her with the poison canister. The player's either going to put their shield up and kind of stop, or they're going to advance. Either way, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to lunge in, and then you're going to hit Spike to get the additional poison from Parting Gift on them, and then back away and start kiting them. If they stay back, just start firing on her with your machine pistol. If they advance, hopefully by this point you have Blade Launcher. You could just shoot her with that, and hopefully it will take her down. Umbra is dangerous because she's going to start siphoning your health right from the get-go. The best way to deal with her is immediately destroy the Sunspot. That's going to stop some of that damage, and it's going to prevent her from healing a little bit. Now lunge in, spike her, now just get up in her face and start meleeing her down. Although they're not as dangerous to you, this is also what you're going to do with Thorn, Marquis, and Arendi. Anyone else, it's going to be the same tactic. Canister to poison them, lunge in, quick melee strike, spike to get away. Now just continue moving around them, firing your pistol until you get your refreshes. And anytime you need to end a fight quickly, you do have that blade launcher at your disposal. In a 2-on-1, Melka is going to die. She is not built to survive, and the best you can do is to go after the weaker player and try to hit them with that blade launcher right at the start of the fight, and then try to either kill them or run them off. In a group battle, you want to be constantly moving around the fight, jumping, power sliding, making yourself a tough target to hit, all the while firing on targets and popping canisters into the fight. Locating targets, lunging in at them, and then hitting that spike. That's going to drop that poison on the ground, and that's going to rack up a lot of assists and kills. If you do have the Venom Blade available, use that on Montana, Wrath, or Gallia. That's really going to help your team. Overall, Melka was a really fun character to play. If you like a character that's fast-paced and challenging to learn, then she is really rewarding. I'm going to post some gameplay from a live stream I did on YouTube where I was just absolutely tearing it up with Melka if you want to check that out. If you want to check out my live stream or just pop in and say hi, follow me on Twitter. I do post when I'm going live because right now I'm not on any set schedule. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.